Good morning and welcome to this week's Small Business Town Hall. It's been a while. I miss connecting with all of you. I'm so glad that we are here connected again. Today we have our directors that are going to be giving us an update about what's happening with the small business community in general. So we're going to be hearing from the Small Business Administrator Director, Mark Hayward. We're going to hear from the Rhode Island, the Secretary of Commerce, the Executive Office of Commerce, Secretary Liz Tanner. We're going to hear from Director Matt Weldon from the Department of Labor and Training. We also going to be getting information from the Department of Business Regulation. We're going to be getting an update in Chris Parisi is back with us also from the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition. Also, we have a guest today. We're going to have Mayor Ken Hopkins from the city of Cranston. He's going to tell us about what they're doing to support the small business community in the city of Cranston. So stay tuned. There's going to be important conversations about small business and good information that we're sharing. So as you know, I want to remind all of you that we still have to be vigilant regarding COVID. If you have not gotten vaccinated, you need to get your vaccination because that's the best defense that we have to make sure that if we get COVID, it's something that is manageable. We don't end up in the hospital with complications. So if you have not gotten your vaccine, make sure you go and get your vaccine as soon as possible. If you haven't gotten the booster, make sure you get the booster. Remember, you can go to covid.ri.gov, and there you're going to have more information. Also, we have the Test to Treat site here in Rhode Island with Clinic Esperanza. You can get that information also at the covid.ri.gov, or you can call the 1-800-232-0233. Again, that's 1-800-232-0233. Okay, so make sure that you're write down the number in case you need it. You can go to Clinic Esperanza and get the Test to Treat right there. Okay, so we have a lot of information, a lot of guests. So first of all, I want to bring with us right now the director of the Rhode Island Small Business Administration, Director Mark Hayward, who's going to tell us what is happening at the SBA. Director?
Good morning, Governor. It's good to see you again. It's been such a long time.
Today is about business.
Yes, it is.
We had the meeting earlier, and now we are together again. It's all about business.
So, and I got some new information for you since I came back to the office. But thank you, Governor. It was a great Small Business Advocacy Council meeting. And we've done a lot of things in the meantime. You and I have gone to Block Island with about 30 additional people. We talked to the businesses. We got to visit the first Black-owned business on Block Island, a landscaper. And I mentioned at the governor's SBAC meeting this morning, he does phenomenal work. I mean, just to see what he did. And he took over a business that he worked in, and he's just excelling. And that's the kind of thing that we want to see. We also want to address some of the issues, Governor, that were raised to us by the town manager as well as the members of the council. And that is because right now on Block Island, there are no electricians, there are no plumbers. Everybody comes from off island. And what was asked of us is, can we bring some kind of heightened attention to the students on Block Island about the benefits of not going to college, but the benefits about establishing a trade? And Governor, you and I will reach back to you, but hopefully we'll do this in September after everybody has, kind of gone away from Block Island. So that was one thing. The other thing that I talked about this morning, we're going to have a concentrated effort, on seeing that, because we capture a lot of information, but on our minority loans, it has been 22% of doing undetermined. And we want our lenders to pay more attention to designating so that we know what resources are going to whom. And I think that's an area that you and I, Governor, can concentrate on as well. We had the administrator here in Rhode Island in the meantime, since the last time we talked. Administrator Isabella Casillas Guzman was here. She went to Pazzi's in East Providence, and the governor and I had a little colloquy about that this morning because, yes, East Providence, I had to take it to East Providence. We had Mayor De Silva presented her with the key to the city. Former Mayor Isidore Ramos, who used to be my physical education teacher. I don't know if you knew that. That's going
No.
way back. See?
Ah,
But the Mayor De Silva says to her, well, there are three mayors sitting at the table. And she said, well, you and Mr. Ramos, Mayor Ramos says, who's the other one? And Bob says, Mark. So, but it was a great day. And we wanted to illustrate, because Posse's got both a PPP1, PPP2, and a very small restaurant revitalization fund. So that's always important. We also visited some manufacturers in Warren, and we went to Hope in Maine. And Governor, I have to tell you, Hope in Maine, what Lisa Raiola has done at Hope in Maine is phenomenal.
amazing.
I mean, the state has a debt to her for how she's bringing particularly minority small businesses along through the food industry. You know, I came back, and I'm so glad that you said that you were having Mayor Hopkins on, because believe it or not, I have the July numbers.
Let me guess.
And I have it by city and town. First of all, the SBA has guaranteed through either our 504 program or our 7A program and our microloans, 195 loans year to date for a total of $129.9 million. So that's very good. And our top lenders are Webster Bank, TD Bank, Harbor One, Navigant, and then Citizens, followed by Bank Rhode Island. But as you know, Governor, we also break it down by city and town. Yes. And as the former council president in Providence, you were always interested in how is everybody doing.
How's everybody doing? Yeah.
So Providence is number one. Okay. They've done 26 loans for $17.7 million, and Cranston is number two. Wow. They've done 19 loans. We've approved 19 loans and projects for $15 million. So you never know. So good the Cranston's moving
was
up.
Ahead before. Yeah.
Yes, they were. So Providence now is leaped ahead. Warwick is number 3. Newport is number 4. East Providence is number 5. But the interesting thing is on this list, Governor, 37 of the 39 cities and towns have at least done one loan, and $130 million is a lot of money into the community. When you think about, we just put $4.1 billion into the Rhode Island small business community through PPP 1, 2, and EIDL Advance and restaurant revitalization. So people coming back, asking for loans, expanding their businesses. We just, and I say this all the time, businesses don't plan to fail. No. They fail to plan. If you need help, don't sit there and try to figure it out. Ask for it. Our Small Business Development Center at the University of Rhode Island, we have tremendous scorer individuals, and certainly we have the Center for Women in Enterprise. And that's my report today, Governor.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all that good information and for letting me know about the loans, where things are, because now I can tell the mayor, like, oh, yeah, it's doing great.
There you go. And by the way, congratulations to Liz Tanner. I love Liz. She is an absolute phenomenal individual. She's a great Secretary of Commerce, and she's just one of those ace people.
Yes. So I'm so happy to have Liz Tanner as the Secretary of Commerce. I think she's the right person for the job. And she's coming next. So thank you so much, Director Hayward, for that report. And now let's bring our new Secretary of Commerce, to Secretary Liz Tanner. You see, I still almost go to Director, right? It's going to take me a while. It's Secretary Tanner, thank you so much for joining us. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much for
so far. How's it going?
It's so funny. I'm realizing I probably need to dress up behind me, though. I don't have my great Zoom background anymore. So it's been a long time since I've done this in an office. And I got to tell you, I don't know if I've ever been on this show since I've been in an office. Isn't that interesting to think?
Oh, wow. First time.
I know. It's been a while since I've been on. And my husband was joking with me, are you going to wear a mask on it? I said, no, I don't have to do that anymore.
Not anymore. But I have to say, I'm so happy that you are in that role. I'm so looking forward for everything that you're going to accomplish on that role.
Thank you very much. It allows me to fulfill my passion of helping small businesses. That's always what I've been interested in. My career before I even came to state government, that's what I focused on. So it's really exciting to have, even bigger opportunity to take care of that community for us. So very much appreciate it. And I loved Mark's kind remarks. So Mark likes to joke that he and I go way back, even before I was in state government. But Mark's a little older than me, so I think he goes back even further and further and further. I like to tease him. So,
well, he keeps saying he's going to retire, but I'm telling him he's going nowhere.
He's been saying that for years.
We need him there.
Well, Lieutenant Governor, I was hoping to give some stats and update on the Rhode Island Rebounds programs. So as you're aware, back in January of 22, the legislature allowed Governor McKee and his team to be able to access part of the money that was coming from the federal government. And so there was $32 million that was designated to assist small businesses for those who were still struggling with the pandemic. And since January, as you can imagine, this Commerce staff has been working night and day to facilitate these programs, to get the dollars out. And I wanted to give an update on how some of those programs are going. So first was the Small Business Grant. And that was a grant that provided cash grants in the amount of anywhere between $2,500 or $5,000 to eligible businesses who had revenues less than $1 million. And we were required to do a set aside of 20% for minority small businesses. What's happened is that to date, we have funded 2,489 small businesses for a total of $11.44 million in grant funding, of which 60.7% of the businesses awarded those grants ended up being minority or women-owned. So we went way above what we had originally said we were going to do. So that's very exciting. And I know one of the most common questions that we get is about the SAM.gov requirement. That had been a federal requirement that was a real barrier to businesses. And thank you to our federal delegation. That requirement for those businesses who are receiving funds less than $50,000 has been removed. So if you happen to be one of those businesses that has been suffering from that pain, know that it's been removed. Please reach back out to us again and we'll work with you. The next one is the Hospitality, Tourism, and Events grants. And those grants were to support some of the hardest hit in the industry, as we know, the hospitality, tourism industries. And as of today, more than $6.4 million has been sent out to over 150 businesses. And so there are some folks who apparently are still awaiting to get their reports. If you have not heard in a while and you're anxious to see if you qualify, please do reach out to us because we're pretty deep into getting those rewards out.
Yeah.
The next one is the Take It Outside grant, very popular. They've been around for a couple of years now.
That's very popular.
Yeah, very popular, right? I think we all love them. We've seen what it's done to our state. It's made it even more enjoyable to go out to eat and anything else.
Yes.
But those were designed to provide funds to qualified businesses to enable them to expand their outdoor capacity to do business. And so to date for that program, we have dispersed almost $350,000 to our intermediaries, like chambers of commerce and associations like the Hospitality Association, and they then dole those awards out to their clients who can purchase things for the Take It Outside program. Very exciting is the Placemaker Initiative, which was a $3 million grant program. And that was for basically COVID-safe programming, such as outdoor art installations or Main Street improvements or public or co-shared outdoor dining space, any kind of maintenance improvements to public parks and plazas and recreational spaces and things like that. And we're very excited because we received an overwhelming response to this program. And the final decisions will be announced at the end of this week. So we'll be doing an event up on Federal Hill. And so for those of you who haven't heard yet, you will, they'll be public by the end of this week. So that's very exciting. Also wanted to talk about what's next up. So what's next up is the ventilation program. So it seems kind of strange, but we're heading back into the fall season. And so we will be doing a ventilation program where businesses can receive up to $10,000 for changes they want to make to improve the ventilation for their business. For those who are interested, we are looking to see if we can get that retroactive. The answer is no as of right now, but we are looking into that. We also have the Technical Assistance Program coming up, and that is a program for businesses to receive funding to be able to work with things like accountants and lawyers and marketing and things that a business owner does, so that they can make themselves better. One thing we really learned during this pandemic is in order to qualify for these programs, you need to have your finances straight. And in order to have your finances straight, you really need to have a good bookkeeper and you have to have a good accountant, and all of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So that program will be coming out. We're excited about that. We also have an expansion of our Wavemaker program. And so the Wavemaker program, which has been around for several years, has been a program that helps pay the student loan debt of new and recent graduates of college who are in the STEM field, right? And so many businesses use it as a recruiting tool to encourage new graduates or young folks who have some debt to come work for them, because they help them apply for these Wavemaker dollars. And so in the budget session that just finished, there have been additional dollars put towards this program to include not just STEM, but also healthcare workers. So we are working on the definitions of healthcare workers, the regulations. And so we anticipate this will be out sometime mid to late fall. But we're excited to include probably, nurses and healthcare professionals and social workers and mental health professionals and all of those kinds of folks who were so critical to the success of the pandemic. So we have those going as well. And then I have something weird I wanted to tell you that we're doing.
Tell me.
One of the things that we hear about as a complaint is that a business owner will say, I tried to call a state government agency and they sent me to this place and they sent me to that place because they didn't know where I was supposed to go. And so one of the things that we have done in the past that we're going to do again, we haven't done it in a couple of years, is that we're going to do a phone training for the people who answer the phones in those state agencies that get those phone calls the most.
That's great.
So the Secretary of State's office, the Division of Taxation, the Attorney General's office, the Department of Business Regulation, the Department of Health. We get phone calls all day, every day saying, I want to open up a business. Well, opening up a business might mean I'm just exploring it. It might mean I need funding for it. It might mean I'm ready to fill out the paperwork for it. It might mean I'm trying to get a license for what I'm trying to do. It could mean so many different things, right? And so when you're trying to share them to the right place, not everybody who answers the phone knows the answers to that question, right? Like you're calling in. So we're going to do another one of these phone trainings where we get everybody in the room, all the people who answer the phone, and we're going to make sure that they know what to do, right? Where to send the right people. So that's always been very successful for us in the past. There's probably been a bunch of turnover in the last few years, particularly because of the pandemic. And so we're really looking forward to doing something so simple, but has huge rewards for when a business owner calls. So, so know that we think about things like that, because we know that even just trying to get the right person to answer the phone is sometimes a challenge. And by having the folks who answer the phone know how best to direct, it just saves some of the headache for small businesses. So something as little as that hopefully will make it easier for the small business community. And we're really excited to get that training done again. So that's what I had. It's a pleasure to be back on. I hope that you'll have me some more. I know it's been a while, but I'd like to try to come back and keep you updated on different programs and what we're looking for in the future. And I will say that to the audience that's listening, I because of the pandemic, we haven't had a chance to get out much and hear what businesses have to say. So I need to hear what the complaints are. Like what are your problems? We need to know that. So please feel free to shoot me an email, and we're going to take a look at what you're running into, because we're just not familiar with it because we haven't been able to get out and ask everybody anymore. So really looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Director. This is great information. And actually, I would love some members of my team to participate of that training for everyone that answered the calls when constituents have questions. So that's a great program. So thank you so much. Thanks for what you're doing. I'm so happy to see you there and see everything else that you're going to accomplish.
Thank you. Hi, Ben. Long time no see.
Hi, Liz. Good to see you. Congratulations, Secretary Tanner. And I just wanted to reiterate what the Lieutenant Governor said, that if you have questions, please ask them in the comments and we will pop on. I know that we haven't done this in a month, but if you have questions, please do that and pop on. Also, Liz, I personally made you this.
Oh, that is great.
I love it. That's awesome.
Okay,
bye. That was great, Ben. Thank you. Thank you, Director. Wow, that was so good. So next we are going to have is that the Director of the Department of Labor and Training, Matt Weldon, who's going to give us an update. Hi, Director.
Hey, Gov. I'm back in my old office, and so the setup is weird today because my phone didn't work, the laptop didn't work, but here I am.
And you're here.
I hope everybody can see me and hear me.
Yes.
And I want to congratulate Secretary Tanner, too, and remind all the small businesses that if they have any complaints about Rhode Island government, she said to contact her. So please feel free to contact her, talk to her about that. Anything else, contact me anytime. Happy to help. So where are we at? 2.7% unemployment in June, the lowest in Rhode Island's recorded history dating back to 1976. In fact, in April and May of 1988, we had the same rate. It's never been lower. That's a good thing. We've recovered 90% of the jobs that we lost in the pandemic. I was recently asked, how come it's not 100%? Well, so obviously the pandemic shifted our economy and things have changed, but also there just aren't that many people to hire right now. So I don't think we're going to keep filling jobs at a rapid pace. I think we need to keep with the slow, steady progression that we've had, keep seeing progress. That's the point. And it is a tight labor market. One of the benefits of low unemployment is it's a good thing for our economy. It's tough for employers trying to find people right now. Mm-hmm. And so I would suggest that if you're an employer that needs assistance, reach out to DLT. You can contact us through our website at dlt.ri.gov. We can help you find candidates. We can help you connect your candidates to job training opportunities. There are different things we can do to help you out. Right now it's a little bit of a challenge just because so many people are working. In fact, 556,200 Rhode Islanders are working. That's more than ever in history. And only 17,700 people are unemployed, and only about 6,000 of those people are collecting benefits. So we don't have 17,000 people on unemployment. Yeah. It's only about 6,000. In the 10 weeks before the pandemic, we averaged over 10,000 claims a week. So we're in a much different place now than we were then. Good for the economy as a whole, a challenge for employers. So we want to try to help employers out. One way that we're trying to help employers is by keeping that unemployment tax as low as we can. A lot of changes were made in the last few years to keep that low. Obviously the pandemic impacted it. This year we held it steady from last year. And then in the budget, we were able to get $100 million to contribute to the UI Trust Fund through the ARPA money, which will lead us to a lower tax rate, which means the rate itself will go down, saving employers about $10 million across the system next year. Now, wages are up, so they may see some of those savings chipped away at because the benefits are a little more expensive. But generally, we're going to do everything we can to save money for Rhode Island employers. So that's a good thing. Otherwise, we are focused on helping employers as much as we can. And if your question is going to be how many employers are on WorkShare, the answer is going to be about 39, which is, substantially down from where it was, but it's still about 3 times higher than normal. And WorkShare, again, we've talked about it almost every time I'm here. It allows employers that
my favorite program.
Oh, it's a great thing. And the Rhode Island program was a model. Senator Reed touted it across the country, and it was a model for other states. WorkShare allows companies to maintain their staff when they're facing economic challenges. And what they do is they can wind down their hours a bit and have those lost hours replaced with a partial unemployment claim. Together, they're able to maintain their staff that they've trained and that they appreciate and that benefit their business. And staff are able to maintain the connection to work. So they're not out trying to go work somewhere else. It's a good thing for the employer. It's temporary. Mm-hmm. So typically it would be for weeks or months and then you'd move on. Occasionally that turns into a longer period of time. And sometimes during difficult times, the federal government picks up the tab. Right now they're not. So it would be charged just like any regular unemployment claim, except the unemployment claim is going to be a portion of what a full unemployment claim would be. So the employer actually wouldn't realize as much of an impact and would still benefit from keeping their staff. Yeah. And so we have information on our website. I encourage people to check it out. Reach out if you want to talk about that. Happy to take suggestions, but remember, complaints only go to Liz Tanner.
Like that. Director, what about job fairs? If anybody that is looking for workers.
So we post job fairs. When we host them, we post them on our website. We are happy to host a job fair in coordination with employers, with municipalities, with higher ed, with really anyone that wants to have one. We do it for no charge. So reach out to us, tell us you'd like to have a job fair, you'd like to do it at, around a certain time. We usually ask for it to be at least 2 weeks away, so we have time to market it a little bit, because you want to make sure you have employers there, but you need to get people there as well. And so we want to make sure, we'll use all the different resources we have to do that. 2 or 3 weeks is a great lead time to have a successful job fair. It's one of those things that we do. We're happy to do it. Just reach out and ask us.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Director, for that information. And thank you for always being available to provide important information to our viewers. So thank you so much for everything that you do. It's always a pleasure working with you.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we're going to hear from the Department of Business Regulation. And we have Matt Santa Cruz here with us today. And he is going to provide updates. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Governor. Thank you for the introduction, and happy to be here on behalf of the Department of Business Regulation. I'm Matt Santa Cruz. I'm the interim deputy director of the department. And our comments today in the department's updates are really going to focus on some of the good stuff coming out of the relatively recently concluded legislative session. I think, as folks know, as former director and current secretary Tanner has really sort of developed the department's reputation as a department that's interested in, highly focused on, and ultimately responsive to the needs of the business community and the small business community in particular. I think obviously that has been a hallmark of the department's work over the past several years. And on an ongoing basis, we really do work hard to connect with the small business community to identify and ultimately implement common sense changes to improve the business climate here in Rhode Island and to make it easier to do business for small businesses. And we did see sort of several significant improvements along those lines past the session, and we're working hard on implementing them. And they were able to pass thanks to the leadership of the Matos administration and the really strong and close partnership of the General Assembly. And so a couple of those I'll just mention quickly. First is a comprehensive suite of improvements to the Contractors Registration and Licensing Board that sort of altogether will improve significantly the board's ability to process complaints and adjudicate claims and violations from sort of illegitimate or irreputable contractors in a timely fashion. And you may say, well, why does this matter to the small business community? Obviously this is something that is going to be a source of protection and support for customers and homeowners. But, it's also the case that businesses get work done by contractors, small businesses, restaurants, hair salons, all kinds of different small businesses have work done by contractors. We want to make sure that those small businesses, if they have a problem with a contractor, are able to get it taken care of and processed in a timely fashion. And then secondly is the fact that, we want to make sure that there's an even playing field and that illegitimate contractors are not put at an advantage because they feel like they can get around the rules without being punished. And so we want to make sure that we're rewarding the good guys, that the bad guys are addressed within the full extent of the law and the regulations. And we think that this bill is going to go a long way towards improving the department's ability to do that.
Right.
There were also a number of improvements in the financial services area. And these sort of go along the lines of really obsolete or outdated requirements that, we should just get rid of, that don't really have a good reason anymore. A couple of these are, there was an obsolete bond requirement for certain kinds of insurers known as surplus lines insurers that we got rid of. The legislature worked with the department to eliminate newspaper reporting requirements for small local banks that are actually quite costly for small local banks and don't really serve any legitimate purpose in this day and age. And then also sort of instituting a permanent allowance that came into place during the pandemic, but makes sense to keep in place going forward, that allows mortgage loan originators to work remotely permanently with oversight from their sort of parent mortgage company. That was something that came into effect pursuant to some of the emergency orders in the pandemic. The industry and the administration worked together to agree that ought to stay in place. And so that was one of the legislative accomplishments this past year in the financial services area. And then finally and lastly, I think folks probably know that we're hard at work implementing the first phase of adult use cannabis legalization this summer and fall in advance of sales beginning in December. And I'm only mentioning that to mention that, obviously this is something that is going to be of interest to employers and likely small employers in particular as to how to deal with this new world of adult use cannabis legalization. And so I just wanted to offer the department and the Office of Cannabis Regulation in particular as a resource for any small business owners or small business groups that are interested in better understanding what's coming down the pike on the cannabis front. And I think with that, that's DBR's update.
So, Matt, do you have any additional information regarding the cannabis that we can share with the public? If you can send it to me. I don't know if you're able to share it now so Ben can add it to the.
Yes, absolutely. I'll direct folks to, I'll just drop this in the chat very quickly.
Okay.
The Office of Cannabis Regulations website currently has on it a number of relatively recent updates
Okay.
that we can, that were, we actually just issued another one today. We're primarily focused right now on licensing our existing cultivators and retailers for adult use sales coming up down the pike, but there's a whole bunch of good stuff on there. And there's also contact information on that website to get in touch with the Office of Cannabis Regulation.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. This has been very important information. I love about DVR how you have taken this approach about solving problems and taking care of regulations or legislation that were making it hard for our business community to do their business. So I'm so grateful that this is the approach that the department has, and you continue to solve problems. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's truly a pleasure. I hope this is the first time, but of many more. Hope to see you again.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to hear from Chris Parisi. Chris, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I missed you all. This was great to see everybody.
We miss you. We miss you. So tell me, are you sleeping through the night already?
No, nope. And we have a newborn. He's 4 months old, and he's in a sleep regression. So I think last night is probably the least amount of sleep I got in a while. But I am always excited to talk about small businesses. It energizes me. So
Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, Ben. Oh.
Nice.
Oh gosh. Well, congratulations to my wife as well. She did a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So yeah, his name is Caden, and we are in love with him, even though he makes us very tired. But let's
That's
talk
part of the
about,
process.
Yeah, what I hear is that it never ends too. So
it gets better.
Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Yeah. But I'm glad you're here. I wanted to hear what the business community is saying, the small business community, what's going on. Tell me.
Yeah. So right now there's a lot of macro level issues, right, that are facing our small businesses in Rhode Island and many other states in this country. Those macro issues are rising costs that we're all feeling, the supply chain issues, labor issues. Even though our unemployment is as low as it's ever been, as Matt Weldon identified, there's a lot of businesses struggling to find good help, which affects our small businesses.
I've been getting that question, Chris. Everywhere I go, the same questions. Where the workers? Yeah. In this morning, we were at the Small Business Advocacy Council meeting, and we were talking about this. And I was asking the director, Weldon, the question: Is it the Google and the Lyft? Is it the Uber and the Lyft that are taking the workers? What is this? But it's complicated, right?
It is, and the numbers don't always add up to what the stories are. And the stories are true. We hear them. You hear them, of small business owners struggling to find good, consistent workers to operate their business. Some of it can be that during the Great Resignation, as they call it, a lot of folks decided to do a lot of contractor type work and do their own entrepreneurship, which is great. We always advocate for entrepreneurship, but that's kind of left a void for our small business owners to hire from. So that's something that we got to try to figure out collectively, of how we can help these macro issues. And another one of them that's been coming up recently is business insurance. A lot of small businesses are getting their renewals are coming up, and we're seeing 10 to 15% increase in insurance costs. So that, I feel, is something that maybe we can have a little bit more control of than, like, let's say inflation, right? So what can we do with local insurance agencies and groups, and how can we maybe have a larger buy-in group, or what can we do to lower that business insurance operating cost for our small businesses? But another thing, we talked about Director Matt Weldon with hiring, but let's now talk about Director Mark Hayward
Yes.
in the SBA. And another thing that we want to make sure we're communicating to our small business owners is that the EIDL loan is coming due.
Mhm.
So that will most likely be coming due towards the end of the year, the very beginning of 2023. And we feel like we're in the summer, it's August, that's nothing we have to worry about now. But as he just said, it's the failure to plan that puts us in trouble. And we need to plan to have that cash flow available for when that EIDL loan is due for those that received it.
Yeah.
So that's something we want to put on the radar for our small businesses as well. And the final piece was the programs with Commerce Rhode Island. We are so excited to have Liz Tanner as our Commerce Director, or Secretary of Commerce. She's no longer Director, she's now a Secretary.
I do that all the time, trying to get used to secretary is the title.
I know. I just call her Liz, but she's the best, and we're so excited because she's always been an advocate for small businesses as well as an individual that's pragmatic, that gets things done.
Problem solver, number one.
Exactly, right? Here's the problem. That's what we love working with, is problem solvers. And we've been talking to Liz, to Secretary Tanner, and we've got the update that she just provided, right, about where are we at with the existing programs through the rebounds and where are we at for these upcoming ones. And one of them that we're really excited about is the technical assistance program, because we're beyond the stage of relief grants, and now we're looking of how we can help elevate, how we can help adapt our small businesses so that they can continue to grow and prosper through these still difficult times.
No, thank you. Thanks. And now that you were mentioning about the fail to plan, it reminded me about part of the discussion that we had this morning. We had a presentation from the Department of Taxation, and that's why we added the link to taxation in there. They have revamped their website. There's a lot of new processes in place. So make sure that everyone is taking a look at their website. If you have any questions, you can find the information in there and you can contact them. And now also they can connect, and they have a business ombudsman that is going to be advocating for the business community. So make sure that if you have a question, send an email. They're responding within 1 day, or they're going to get back to you. You can call, but it's easier if you just send an email with your question, and they're going to get back to you. And going again about planning, we have to remember the sales tax. You have to do your best and start separating those funding, because based on my experience in local government, I'm working with a lot of the small business and micro businesses. The sales tax was always a challenge. So we have to be understand that those are funding have to be separated. So that's the way how you're going to avoid having issues with the sales taxes. Okay, but the website has been updated and it's had great information in there.
That's great. That's a really great point. And, it's a example that there are a lot of great services out there in government officials and agencies that are helping small businesses. We just have to ask, we have to look, and just don't try to figure it all out yourself. There is help out there.
Yeah. All right. So next, I have another guest, Chris, and I don't know if you want to stay behind stage for a little bit and maybe join us in a few minutes.
Sure.
Because we have with us the mayor of the city of Cranston, Ken Hopkins, and he has been doing a lot to support the small business community, and he's been patiently waiting for us, but I want to hear about everything that he's doing for the small business community in Cranston. Ben, can you bring the mayor?
Mayor Hopkins, can you hear us? Oh,
He's on. He's
Okay.
it's just muted. He's muted, and here we go.
Okay. Hi, Mayor.
Hi, Lieutenant Governor. How are you?
Good seeing you. So glad you're joining us today.
Yeah, we've been listening in. I'm here with Tony and Jason in Franklin, my economic development coordinator.
Hi, Tony, Jason, and Franklin. So glad that you guys are joining the mayor. Can you guys tell us what you're doing for the business community, the small business community in Cranston?
I'll let Franklin handle that. He's been out there paving, knocking on doors and hitting all the small businesses about the grants that are available, and he's been giving away tons of money.
All right.
Hey, how you doing, Sabina?
Good
Chris?
seeing you, Franklin.
Nice seeing you. Currently at the city of Cranston, we have the Take It Outside program, mostly for restaurant, for dining out, for the expansion of exterior patio. And we're giving out between $2,500 and $10,000 grant. That's for tables, chairs, and tents, gazebo, signage, and parquet. The program is going well. The application is in the website. They could go into the website for City of Cranston under Economic Development, and they could print out the application and they could bring it to us, and we'll work on it.
Okay. And do you still have funding available?
Yes, we do. The city was awarded 250,000, and we already have like around 25 applicants so far.
Right. Oh, that's great. And we just added the link to your economic development page to the comment section. So anyone that is watching and would like to get more information, they can go there and get the details. I wanted to know also, what are the businesses that are opening in Cranston? What is the trend that you see? Is it more salons? Is it more restaurants? What do you see is the businesses are opening?
Yeah, Governor, what we've done is we created a program called a Main Street Concept. As you know, we redid Rolfe Square, starting with the Park Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And we put in all new lighting, new streets, new sidewalks to attract people to come in and put in their small businesses. I think we only have one vacant store left. The place is filled up considerably. And a lot of this has to do with our revitalization program and the fact that we're out there through our economic development office giving these people small loans to take it outside and fix up their properties. And we've seen a major increase in foot traffic, and all the businesses that I frequent on a regular basis, like Mesa Restaurant, for example, they've used the money, they're cleaning up their properties, and their businesses are booming right now with foot traffic. We did the same thing down in Patuxent Village with Bagel Express and Revolution, and there's a bunch of little restaurants on the Cranston side that are really happy with what we've done in revitalizing that area. And we're waiting for one more government to come from the big check from the federal government through Senator Reed to revitalize Knightsville. That's our third targeted area. We're going to redo the Pocket Park over there. We've talked with all of the businesses in that area. Franklin has met with the businesses to give them the Take It Outside program. And hopefully this time next year, we'll be having dinner outside on the streets, kind of an al fresco concept. And all of the Italian restaurants along Knightsville are all going to be part of our new revitalization in that area.
I have to tell you, Friday, I was in Cranston Street, and I went to Ianuccelli restaurant. First time, I love it. I can't wait to go back there. You have amazing Italian restaurant in Cranston.
Yeah, we have about 10 of them along that area.
Yes.
And we're going to revitalize that from the Pocket Park in Ianuccelli's all the way down past L'Osteria, Antonio's, Cafe Itri, Umberto's, all the way down to where the church is. And then we just sold the Cranston Printworks and then to Brady Sullivan out of Boston. That's going to be redeveloped into townhouses over the next 2 years. So that next area is our new corridor for our Main Street concept.
Right. I'm going to spend a lot of time in that area. Just telling you.
Especially when Top Golf opens up, you can come over and have dinner and hit golf balls with us, Governor.
Also, I will have to learn how to golf. I haven't, so you will have to give me a few lessons, I think, between you and the governor.
Okay.
Right? No, thanks. So, tell me, what are the other programs that you have going on in right now for the business community? If I have someone that says, I see a space in Cranston that I would love to start a business. What is the first step that they have to do? Where do they go? Who they call if they want to start a business in Cranston?
Yeah, I'm going to let Franklin handle that one.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes. One of the first thing that small business owners should do is get advice from an attorney on what's the process, and also see our economic development department so they could get advice how to go to, and then the planning department, and also here in City Hall we have the business clerk office on the second floor, which they can get information there. And then one of the last processes, the building inspection. It does take time, to establish the business and get everything updated. But our advice is get advice from a lawyer on how to start the business process in the city of Cranston. Now the administration is working with each case that will come, and it comes to our department, and we work one-on-one with those business in getting them through the whole process.
Yeah. And we have actually a visit coming up, right, Franklin, with to the businesses in Cranston.
Yes, we
We're
do.
working on that, right?
Yeah, we're working on that especially on World Square and Park Avenue, that corridor there. I think we have a schedule for a couple of weeks or a week or so, a walk through and visit small business.
All right, great. Thank you. No, so I just want to, again, to the mayor, if we can put the mayor back, because I just want to thank him for taking the time. Mayor Hopkins, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and share the information about what's happening in the city of Cranston. I'm looking forward to being in your city soon. I'm going to be visiting some of the businesses in your city. Okay.
Governor, we love having you over in Cranston, and you're our adopted lieutenant governor. We know that you're here all the time, and this is your favorite city.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in Cranston.
I know you do.
Yes. But thank you so much for joining us today. It's truly a pleasure, and I'll see you soon. Okay?
Always my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much. And Ben, you know that we have a friend of ours that always joins us, but she's not commenting today because I believe she's driving back from Florida, right? So it's Tina from Ramp, as we know her. She is always commenting. So we just want to say congratulations to Tina because she won the crown. She went to Florida and she won the crown of the ambassador. And we are so proud of what she has accomplished and what she has done representing the state of Rhode Island. Tina, you are amazing. I always just marvel to see everything that you accomplish. And when you set yourself to do something, no one is going to stop you. And just love seeing you and everything that you have done. So we are so proud of you. The state of Rhode Island is happy and proud for what you accomplished. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back here at home and give you a big hug. With that, I want to say thank you to all of you that have turned in today. It has been a pleasure. So great being back with all of you. I'll see you next time. Take care.